Life, in its essence, is a dance of flowing, ever-changing rhythm that invites us to move with it. Unlike a race with a defined finish line or a puzzle that demands solving, it is an art form, unbound by rigid rules or destinations. Each moment is a step, each experience a note in the symphony of existence. When we dance, we don't calculate every move or question the next beat. We let go, surrendering to the music, trusting it to guide us. Life asks us to do the same. It whispers, flow with me. Don't resist. Don't demand that the rhythm bends to your will. In this dance, there's no wrong step, no choreography to memorize. There are only moments, some filled with grace, others with stumbles. Yet even the stumbles are part of the dance, giving it character, texture, and depth. The beauty lies not in perfection, but in the willingness to move, to adapt, to let the rhythm lead. Every partner in this dance, the people we meet, the challenges we face, the opportunities that come and go adds to the choreography. They shape our movements, offering lessons and moments of connection. Some dances are fleeting, like a brief but electrifying tango, while others are enduring, like a waltz that carries us through years. To dance with life is to trust its tempo, to know that even when the music seems chaotic or still, it is taking us somewhere meaningful. The pauses, the crescendos, the quiet hums, they all have their place. The illusion of control. Control, as we perceive it, is one of life's grandest illusions. We construct plans, set goals, and design strategies, believing we can dictate the flow of events. Yet life, in its infinite complexity, often shows us otherwise. Like trying to hold water in a clenched fist, the tighter we grasp, the more it slips through our fingers. This illusion stems from a deep-seated desire for certainty, a need to feel secure in a world that is inherently unpredictable. We map out our days, our months, even our years, under the assumption that the universe will fall in line with our intentions. But the truth is, control is a fragile facade, shattered the moment life veers from the script we've written for it. Consider the weather, the tides, or the turning of the seasons. These forces operate beyond our will, yet they shape our lives profoundly. In the same way, the larger currents of existence, chance encounters, unforeseen opportunities, unexpected challenges are not ours to command. They unfold according to their own rhythms, often in ways we cannot anticipate or comprehend. The pursuit of control often creates tension as we expend energy resisting the natural flow of life. We fight against what is, trying to bend reality to match our expectations. Yet this resistance only deepens our frustration, for the more we push, the more apparent it becomes that life is not something to be mastered, but something to be experienced. True freedom comes not from clinging to control, but from relinquishing it. This is not to say we abandon responsibility or effort, but that we recognize the limits of our influence. By releasing the illusion of control, we allow ourselves to engage with life more fully, embracing its uncertainties and surprises as essential parts of the journey. The present is enough. The present moment is all there truly is, a fleeting yet infinite space where life unfolds. It is the only point of contact we have with existence, the thread that connects us to the rhythm of being. Yet so often we overlook its richness, caught in the grasp of the past or the pull of the future. We are conditioned to believe that fulfillment lies just beyond the horizon, in the next achievement, the next possession, or the next chapter. But this endless striving pulls us away from the simple truth that the present moment, as it is, contains everything we need. When we pause and immerse ourselves fully in the now, we discover that its stillness holds an unparalleled depth. In this moment, there is no need to fix, improve, or attain. The present does not demand anything from us. It simply invites us to feel the weight of our breath, the warmth of the sun, the pulse of life moving through us. It asks for no commentary, no judgment, only our presence. The present is free from the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future. It offers a refuge, a space untouched by the stories we carry and the fears we project. In its simplicity, it reveals a profound truth that life itself is not a problem to be solved, but an experience to be lived. When we embrace the present as enough, we release ourselves from the trap of someday. We stop postponing joy, waiting for circumstances to align perfectly. Instead, we recognize that this moment, however imperfect, is already whole. The stillness, the movement, the silence, the sound, it is all part of the symphony of now. The mirror of belief. The world we see is not merely a collection of external events and objects, it is a reflection of our inner landscape. What we believe about ourselves and the nature of life shapes how reality presents itself to us. In this way, the world acts as a mirror, faithfully reflecting the thoughts, attitudes, and expectations we carry within. When we hold beliefs rooted in fear, scarcity, or doubt, the world seems to echo these themes. Challenges feel insurmountable, opportunities appear scarce, and setbacks are magnified. Yet when our beliefs are grounded in trust, abundance, and possibility, life seems to align in surprising ways, offering moments of synchronicity and support. This mirroring is not an act of magic, but a natural interplay between perception and reality. The lens through which we view life colors every experience. A person who believes in kindness tends to notice acts of generosity, while one who expects betrayal may see threats where none exist. Our beliefs guide our focus, and what we focus on expands. Moreover, this reflection extends beyond perception to influence how we act and engage with the world. When we believe in our own worth and capability, we carry ourselves with confidence, attracting opportunities and forming deeper connections. Conversely, self-doubt often creates barriers, shaping interactions and outcomes in ways that reinforce the very beliefs we hold. The mirror of belief is unyielding yet impartial. It does not judge what we project, it simply reflects it back to us. This understanding grants us an immense power, the ability to shift our reality by transforming the beliefs that shape it. By choosing to nurture beliefs that empower and uplift, we invite the world to mirror those same qualities back to us. Resistance creates struggle. Resistance is the force we exert against what is, an attempt to deny or alter the reality unfolding before us. It arises when we judge a situation as unacceptable, unfair, or inconvenient, and in that judgment we create friction. This friction, born not from the situation itself, but from our refusal to accept it, is the root of struggle. Life, like a river, flows in its own direction, carrying with it the unpredictable currents of change, challenge, and opportunity. When we resist, it is as though we are trying to swim upstream, exhausting ourselves in the fight against the inevitable. The more we push, the stronger the current seems to push back, intensifying our sense of conflict and frustration. Resistance stems from a belief that life should conform to our expectations, that we can mold reality to fit the shape of our desires. Yet this insistence often blinds us to the wisdom inherent in life's unfolding. We focus so intently on what should be that we fail to see what is, missing the lessons and opportunities present in the moment. Struggle is the natural consequence of resistance. It drains our energy, clouds our perception, and heightens our suffering. Even in the face of circumstances we cannot change, resistance perpetuates an inner battle, locking us in a state of turmoil. Conversely, when we soften our resistance, we allow ourselves to move with the flow of life, reducing the strain and opening the door to clarity and peace. This does not mean passivity or resignation, rather, it is about recognizing the futility of fighting what cannot be controlled. Acceptance does not eliminate challenges, but it transforms how we engage with them. In surrendering resistance, we free ourselves from the weight of struggle and step into a more harmonious relationship with life's natural rhythm. Serendipity's role. Serendipity is the art of unexpected discovery, the gentle hand of the universe guiding us toward what we didn't know we needed. It is the unplanned meeting, the unforeseen opportunity, the chance alignment of circumstances that seem almost too perfect to be mere coincidence. In its quiet, often subtle way, serendipity plays a pivotal role in shaping the course of our lives. At its heart, serendipity is a reminder that life's complexity far exceeds our ability to plan or predict. We can map out our goals and chart up our paths, but the most meaningful moments often arise from the spaces in between the encounters and events we could never have anticipated. These moments of grace reveal a truth we often overlook. Life has an intelligence of its own. Reframing failure. Failure, as it is commonly understood, is often seen as the end of a path, a definitive sign that something has gone wrong, that we have fallen short of our goals, or that our efforts were in vain. Yet this view of failure is narrow and incomplete, for it overlooks its essential role as a catalyst for growth and transformation. By reframing failure, we can begin to see it not as a verdict, but as an invaluable teacher and guide. At its core, failure is feedback. It is the universe showing us the gaps between our current approach and the desired outcome, offering insights that success alone cannot provide. Every misstep reveals a hidden assumption, an overlooked detail, or an area for improvement. It strips away illusions and invites us to confront reality with clarity. In this way, failure becomes a mirror, reflecting not our inadequacy, but our potential to learn, adapt, and evolve. To reframe failure is to recognize that it is not the opposite of success, but a necessary step along the way. It is through falling that we learn to walk, through mistakes that we refine our craft, and through setbacks that we gain resilience. The greatest innovations, discoveries, and achievements are often born from the ashes of failure, shaped by the determination to rise again with newfound understanding. Failure also challenges our relationship with control and certainty. It reminds us that no outcome is guaranteed, that life is a dynamic interplay of effort and unpredictability. In this way, failure humbles us, teaching us to let go of rigid expectations and embrace the process itself. When we release the fear of failure, we open ourselves to experimentation, creativity, and risk-taking, unlocking possibilities that would otherwise remain unexplored. Moreover, failure can deepen our empathy and connection with others. To fail is to experience vulnerability, and in that vulnerability we find common ground with those who have faced their own struggles. It humanizes us, reminding us that perfection is neither attainable nor necessary, and that our worth is not measured by our victories alone, but by our courage to try, to persist, and to grow. In reframing failure, we must also question the narratives we attach to it. Too often we see failure as a personal flaw, a reflection of our value or capability. Yet failure is rarely about who we are, it is about the ever-changing circumstances of life and the interplay of countless factors beyond our control. By detaching our identity from the outcomes we experience, we liberate ourselves from the weight of self-judgment and allow failure to be what it truly is, a moment, not a definition. The act of reframing failure requires a shift in perspective from seeing it as a dead end to recognizing it as a doorway. It calls for curiosity, a willingness to ask, what can I learn from this rather than, why did this happen to me? It invites us to approach life with a mindset of growth, where every challenge, no matter how daunting, becomes an opportunity to expand our understanding and refine our approach. When we embrace failure as an integral part of the journey, we free ourselves from the paralyzing grip of perfectionism. We no longer fear the possibility of stumbling, for we understand that every stumble carries within it the seeds of future success. In this reframing, failure becomes not something to avoid, but something to embrace, a mark of effort, a sign of courage, and a step toward becoming who we are meant to be. This shift in perspective also enables us to celebrate progress in all its forms, recognizing that each attempt, no matter the outcome, contributes to our growth. It reminds us that the process of striving, experimenting, and persisting is itself an act of triumph. Failure, then, is not an interruption of the journey, but an essential part of it, one that shapes us in ways we cannot foresee. Reframing failure also encourages us to be gentler with ourselves, to treat setbacks not with harsh criticism, but with compassion and curiosity. It invites us to see failure not as a measure of inadequacy, but as evidence of our willingness to take risks and to engage fully with life. By embracing this perspective, we cultivate resilience, adaptability, and an unshakable confidence in our ability to grow. In this reframed understanding, failure becomes a source of strength, a teacher that guides us toward greater wisdom and capability. It transforms from a feared adversary into a trusted ally, showing us the paths we might not have otherwise taken and the lessons we might not have otherwise learned. Through failure, we come to understand that every step, whether forward or backward, is part of a larger unfolding and intricate dance of trial, error, and discovery that ultimately leads us closer to our true potential. Failure, then, is not something to resist or avoid, but something to welcome as an integral aspect of the human experience. It is a reminder that growth is not linear, that progress is not always visible, and that the value of the journey lies not only in where we end up, but in who we become along the way. Failure invites us to step beyond the limits of our comfort zones, to challenge our assumptions, and to embrace the uncertainties of life with courage and curiosity. In doing so, it reveals itself not as a barrier, but as a bridge, one that connects us to our deeper selves, to others, and to the boundless possibilities of what lies ahead. Gratitude in advance. Gratitude in advance is the quiet act of thanking life for what is yet to unfold, an acknowledgement of abundance before it is fully visible. It is the recognition that the seeds of possibility are already planted, even if their growth has not yet reached the surface. By expressing gratitude for the unseen and the not yet, we align ourselves with a deeper trust in the natural rhythm of life. To practice gratitude in advance is to step into a mindset of faith and openness. It is not blind optimism, but an understanding that life often operates in ways beyond our immediate comprehension. By appreciating the future as though it is already unfolding in our favor, we cultivate a sense of receptivity that allows us to notice and embrace opportunities as they arise. This form of gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we believe is possible. When we operate from a place of scarcity, our thoughts and actions are often rooted in fear and resistance. But when we act as though the gifts of life are already on their way, we begin to engage with the world from a space of abundance. This mental shift changes not only how we perceive reality, but also how we shape it through our intentions and choices. Gratitude in advance also encourages us to let go of rigid expectations about how and when life should deliver its gifts. It invites us to trust the unfolding, knowing that even if the outcomes differ from our initial hopes, they may bring lessons and opportunities that are even more meaningful. This practice fosters a sense of surrender not to passivity, but to the flow of life, which often carries us to places we could not have imagined. In expressing gratitude for what is yet to come, we also nurture patience and perseverance. The act of thanking life in advance reminds us that the journey itself is part of the gift. Each step, no matter how uncertain or challenging, contributes to the larger tapestry of our growth and understanding. It shifts our focus from immediate gratification to a broader appreciation of life's unfolding process. This form of gratitude is deeply connected to imagination and intention. By thanking life in advance, we begin to visualize the possibilities we hope to manifest. In doing so, we not only set a direction for our actions, but also reinforce our belief in the potential for positive outcomes. This belief, in turn, influences how we interact with the world, creating a feedback loop that brings our intentions closer to reality. Gratitude in advance also deepens our connection to the present moment. It reminds us that even as we anticipate the future, we are surrounded by the richness of now. By appreciating what is to come, we enhance our awareness of what already is, creating a sense of continuity between the present and the future. This practice invites us to see life not as a series of disconnected moments, but as an ongoing flow of blessings, challenges, and growth. This mindset also transforms how we perceive uncertainty. Instead of fearing the unknown, we begin to welcome it as a realm of infinite possibility. Gratitude in advance shifts our relationship with the future, turning it from a source of anxiety into a canvas of hope and opportunity. In this way, it becomes an act of courage, a way of stepping into the unknown with trust and optimism. Gratitude in advance is a practice of aligning ourselves with the energy of creation. It is a way of participating in life's unfolding, not as passive observers, but as co-creators. By expressing appreciation for the future, we affirm our belief in its potential and our role in shaping it. This affirmation not only changes how we feel, but also influences the actions we take and the opportunities we attract. It is also a form of humility, an acknowledgement that we are not the sole architects of our lives. By thanking life in advance, we recognize the countless unseen forces, people, circumstances, and events that work together to bring about the power of play. Play is often dismissed as frivolous, a distraction from the serious work of life. Yet, at its essence, play is one of the most profound expressions of freedom, creativity, and connection. It is not merely an activity, but a state of being, a way of engaging with the world that is spontaneous, joyful, and unburdened by the need for utility or outcome. At its core, play is a reminder that life is not solely a problem to be solved or a task to be completed. It invites us to step out of the confines of linear thinking and rigid structure, allowing space for exploration and imagination. In play, we lose ourselves in the present moment, where time seems to dissolve, and the boundaries between ourselves and the world blur. This immersion into the now is deeply nourishing, reconnecting us with the wonder and curiosity that often fade under the weight of routine and responsibility. Play is also a vital catalyst for creativity. When we allow ourselves to play, we free our minds from the constraints of logic and practicality, opening doors to new ideas and perspectives. The playful mind is unafraid to take risks, to experiment, and to fail, because in the realm of play, there is no failure, only discovery. It is in these moments of unguarded exploration that some of our most innovative and transformative ideas are born. Furthermore, play is a powerful connector. It transcends language, culture, and age, creating spaces where differences dissolve and shared joy emerges. Whether it's a child's game, a collaborative project, or an impromptu dance, play fosters a sense of belonging and camaraderie. It reminds us of our shared humanity, of the simple truth that we all yearn for moments of lightness and laughter. In relationships, play deepens bonds and nurtures intimacy. It encourages spontaneity and vulnerability, inviting us to let down our defenses and engage with others in a way that is authentic and unpretentious. Playfulness can dissolve tension, ease conflict, and create a foundation of trust and mutual enjoyment. It reminds us not to take ourselves too seriously, allowing us to approach life and each other with a lighter heart. Play is not limited to childhood or leisure. It is a mindset that can infuse every aspect of life. In work, play transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and innovation. It encourages us to approach problems with curiosity rather than dread, to see setbacks as puzzles rather than failures. When we bring playfulness to our endeavors, we become more resilient, adaptable, and engaged. Moreover, play has profound benefits for our mental and physical well-being. It reduces stress, boosts creativity, and enhances our ability to solve problems. It activates parts of the brain associated with pleasure and reward, releasing endorphins and fostering a sense of happiness and fulfillment. Physically, play encourages movement, coordination, and vitality, keeping our bodies as engaged as our minds. The power of play lies in its ability to reconnect us with our innate joy and vitality. In a world that often prioritizes productivity and seriousness, play is an act of rebellion, a way of reclaiming our right to delight in life for its own sake. It invites us to step outside the confines of what is expected or practical, and to engage with the world on our own terms, guided by curiosity, creativity, and wonder. Play also reminds us of the impermanence of life, urging us to savor each moment rather than rush through it. It teaches us to approach life with a sense of humor and grace, to see challenges as part of the dance rather than as obstacles to overcome. In play, we find a pathway to joy, resilience, and connection, an invitation to live more fully and freely. Ultimately, the power of play is transformative. It allows us to tap into our truest selves, unencumbered by the weight of expectation or the need for control. It teaches us to embrace the unpredictable, to celebrate the imperfect, and to find meaning not in outcomes, but in the experience itself. Through play, we remember that life is not merely a series of tasks to complete, but a vast, ever-changing landscape to explore with curiosity, creativity, and a light heart. The paradox of effortlessness. Effortlessness, at first glance, appears to be the absence of effort, a state of ease where everything flows naturally and nothing feels forced. Yet the paradox of effortlessness lies in the realization that it often requires a certain degree of effort to reach this state. It is not about passivity or inaction, but about aligning oneself with the rhythm of life so that actions arise organically, without resistance. True effortlessness emerges not from avoiding effort, but from the right kind of effort, of focused, intentional engagement that respects the natural flow of things. It is the difference between struggling against the current of a river and learning to move with it. In both cases, energy is expended, but in the latter, the effort is harmonious and in tune with the environment. This alignment creates a sense of ease that transcends the amount of work being done. The paradox also challenges the idea that striving harder always leads to better results. Often, the more we push, the more we encounter resistance, both within ourselves and in the external world. This resistance can create tension, frustration, and burnout, ultimately hindering the very outcomes we seek. Effortlessness, on the other hand, invites us to step back, to trust in the process, and to allow space for things to unfold naturally. In doing so, we often achieve more with less strain. Effortlessness is deeply connected to the concept of flow, a state where our actions seem to happen almost automatically, guided by a sense of clarity and presence. In flow, there is no need for excessive force or overthinking. Instead, there is a seamless connection between intention and execution. This state is not achieved by avoiding effort, but by channeling it wisely, focusing our energy on what truly matters while letting go of unnecessary struggle. The paradox of effortlessness also speaks to the importance of preparation. A musician, for example, spends countless hours practicing scales and techniques, yet when performing, the goal is to let go of conscious effort and simply play. The effortlessness of the performance is made possible by the discipline and effort that preceded it. Similarly, in life, the ability to move effortlessly often stems from the foundations we build through intentional effort and practice. Another aspect of this paradox is the role of surrender. Effortlessness is not about controlling every detail or forcing outcomes, but about trusting the natural order of things. It requires us to release our attachment to rigid expectations and to embrace uncertainty with an open heart. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom, a recognition that some things cannot be forced, and that life often unfolds most beautifully when we allow it to move at its own pace. Effortlessness also arises when we are fully present. Much of the struggle we experience comes from mental resistance, overthinking, doubting, or worrying about the future. When we bring our attention to the present moment, we eliminate this resistance and find that our actions flow more naturally. In this way, effortlessness is as much about mindset as it is about action. It is a state of being that prioritizes ease, clarity, and connection over struggle and force. This paradox invites us to rethink our relationship with effort itself. It challenges the notion that more effort is inherently better and encourages us to explore the quality of our effort rather than its quantity. It asks us to consider whether our actions are in alignment with our values, our goals, and the larger flow of life. When effort becomes an expression of harmony rather than struggle, it transforms into something that feels effortless. Effortlessness also has a way of amplifying our creativity and problem-solving abilities. When we are not consumed by struggle or tension, our minds are freer to explore new ideas and possibilities. This openness allows us to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and playfulness rather than stress and frustration. In this sense, effortlessness is not about doing less, but about doing differently, engaging with life in a way that feels natural and sustainable. The paradox of effortlessness teaches us that ease is not the absence of effort, but the presence of alignment. It shows us that when we move with life rather than against it, when we let go of unnecessary resistance and trust in the flow, even the most demanding tasks can feel light and fulfilling. Through this understanding, effortlessness becomes not a destination but a way of being, an approach to life that values balance, presence, and the quiet power of moving in harmony with the world. Interconnected design. Interconnected design reflects the profound realization that everything in existence is part of a larger, interdependent system.